Welcome all of you to Quarterdeck. Today we are sitting in the premises of Kanoo Shipping Agencies here in Dubai, UAE. And Kanoo Shipping Agencies, I have a blue brochure of Kanoo Shipping Agencies right in front of me. And so Kanoo Shipping Agencies is part of Yusuf bin Ahmad Kanoo, and it's one of the largest independent family-owned business house, a powerful business house in the Gulf region, and Kanoo Shipping Agencies is part of Yusuf bin Ahmad Kanoo. Now they are into all sorts of businesses. Well, the blue brochure says that they are into businesses of being joint ventures, retail and commercial activities, shipping, travel, machinery, and so on. But today we're going to talk about Kanoo Shipping Agencies here in Dubai, and I have with me Mr. David Barker, the Executive General Manager of Kanoo Shipping Agencies. Hello and welcome to Quarterdeck.
Good morning, Sridhar. Pleased to meet you.
Talking about Kanoo Shipping Agencies, could you tell us the core activity of your particular portfolio?
It's probably best that I start by telling you a little bit about the overall group and where we fit into that. The overall group, of course, as Kanoo is a very old family name, and it was the first records go back to about 1890.
Oh, 1890.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a Bahraini family, and the Bahraini family started off as actually financing the pearl trade, pearl divers.
Okay.
And it eventually moved on into shipping, handling ships, and over the years expanded from Bahrain into Saudi Arabia, and eventually down here to the UAE. Here in the shipping business, we the easy way of describing what we do is that if it floats, we handle it.
Anything that floats.
Anything that floats, we will handle it. We're shipping agents, and basically shipping agents should be a common mistake is that shipping is to mix shipping agents up with forwarding agents.
Okay.
Forwarding agents move cargo around the world. Shipping agents tend to look after the ships that handle that cargo.
Okay.
Yeah, and look after the ship's physical needs. We book cargo for those ships sometimes, but we generally look after the ship's physical needs in port and once they're in our region under our care. Yeah, so if the master needs anything, the captain needs anything, the crew going to the doctors, arranging pilots, arranging tugs, etc., we do all that sort of thing.
That's the basic hiccup of Kanoo.
That's a very quick thumbnail, thumbprint of Kanoo. Yeah, absolutely.
What was the modus operandi for achieving such a success? Because success, of course, it will not happen in a night or a day, but it's hard work, sweat, teamwork, and so on. So, what exactly is the secret to that?
I think that it's an interesting mix of luck and good judgment.
Okay.
But having said luck, you make your own luck.
Oh.
And by that comes from being in the right place at the right time and putting yourself, having the vision and the strategy to put yourself in the right place at the right time. So once you've got there, you then still have to recognize the opportunities and be fast enough, flexible enough, and have the spirit to go for them. Yeah? And I think one of the unique things about our business, about Kanoo, is that we have historically had the spirit to develop, and it's been a very entrepreneurial spirit, and it remains so today. But it's being in the right place at the right time and having the vision and the confidence to put that into reality.
But Kanoo Group is also acquainted to the changes, is it not?
The changes, any business to succeed has to recognize change and has to change with it. If you don't change, if businesses don't recognize change and don't grow, they die. Simple as that. And we certainly have no intention of doing that. So yeah, if you're not aware, not alert to change, and not, as I say, fast enough on your feet to do something about it, then you probably won't survive. And over the last few years we've seen massive changes in our industry, including globalization, of course, and that has required us to to respond to that, and we have done so.
Well, before stepping into the office, we have surfed your website, and we've managed to find out that our employees are our assets. And every organization says that the employees, but talking about the Kanoo angle point of view, how do you support your statement by saying that your employees are your assets? Of course, the human resource of any country is the biggest asset of any country, but from the management point of view.
Well, we're in a service business. Service is about communications, and it's about relationships. People make relationships. Therefore, machines don't make relationships. So people are our assets that we use as a resource to generate those relationships that we exist on. And the great thing about the shipping industry is that it's a relationship business, and traditionally has been.
Okay.
And maintaining those relationships needs your people to respond, to recognize the value of them, and to service them, provide the service to those customers accordingly. And without the people, we couldn't do it.
Well, as you were talking about changes, the world is changing, people are changing, universe is changing. After all, environment is one of the biggest changes that's taking place. When you're talking about changing, of course, the shipping industry, global requirement, changes are there. But how do you manage to cope with the changes? Of course, as you said, if you don't adapt yourself, without changes, you perish. So, as Kanoo Shipping Agencies, how do you manage to cope up with the changes within the shipping industry?
It's a very good question, and one of the big changes is happening within the liner business, the container businesses, and has happened been evolving over the last 10 years, where companies are merging. The big liner companies seek to have their own identity in the market, and the role of the agent has changed very much in that respect. Many companies are now taking on the old traditional agency role themselves. So the agents tend to look for work in joint venture with their principals, and the need to be alert to those joint venture opportunities is there. But also, as the liner business from the agency point of view declines, if you like, and goes into the liner companies themselves, so on the other hand, we have to redress that balance by looking at other things. And the other things that we look at tend to be other sorts of ships. So I started off by saying if it floats, we handle it. And I think you'll see from the Blue Book and from our website that you've looked at, we do handle virtually anything. And that balance of replacing the liner business with other types of ships, with tankers, with bulk carriers, with general cargo ships, with tugs, with offshore boats, with livestock ships, with cruise ships, whatever. It's all there. And our efforts today are being very much redirected into these other new businesses.
Tell us something about your bulk parcels and project cargoes, as well as gas and chemical tankers. Both clubbed.
Yeah, big topic. How many issues have we got?
Just a service.
Yeah, sure. It's all part of this requirement to balance or rebalance our business. Parcels projects are very much the flavour of the decade, if you like, in this region. The projects and the developments of this region are all logistically supported by ships and that are carrying these projects into the Gulf, and eventually by other sorts of ships that will carry the produce from these projects out of the Gulf, the chemicals or fertilizer
LPG,
or gas
LNG.
or whatever. But building the projects is a market in its own right. Saudi, Qatar, there are still massive project movements going in there, so we handle the ships, we try to book the ships book the cargoes for the ships, and we handle the ships that are going in there with these big projects, big heavy lifts or whatever. But also we also handle, as I say, the ships carrying the produce out again. So we're handling LNG ships globally. We have global contracts with a number of LNG carriers, LNG operators, people like Qatar Gas, Oman Gas. We're working with worldwide through S5 and our colleagues. And LPG, there's of course another massive growing market. So it's one that we spend an awful lot of time around the world, not just within the Gulf here, but around the world, marketing ourselves and winning business in those businesses.
Viewers would be interested to know about Kanoo Shipping Agencies' involvement in marine services, and also there is another complicated area of operation, the offshore services, is it not?
Very similar, marine and offshore. Marine services is where we are operating offshore craft ourselves. For the offshore market is where we're handling other people's offshore craft and crew and things. Again, it's very much a growing market, particularly with the price of oil as high as it is today. There's a lot more exploration going on offshore, and all that exploration, all the construction we see offshore islands here, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, all those islands need servicing. So there are demands for landing craft, there are demands for supply boats, there are demands for moving crew, passenger boats, whatever. That's very much a growing part of our business, and it's all related directly to the petrodollar.
As we were talking in our earlier discussions about your caring attitude towards your HR, the human resources, you also have something called the Kanoo Care Crew.
Kanoo Crew Care.
Oh, Crew Care.
Yeah.
Okay, how's it all about?
Kanoo Crew Care is almost a little brand within our own shipping agency brand. We established it because I felt for years, and also having been a sailor myself at one stage, I felt for years that crew, when they're moving through a port or through an agent's office, don't get a great deal. They're treated not with the respect that they should be treated. And crew, after all, are, as I say, they're walk on, walk off, they're talk on, talk off, and they're human beings and should be treated as such. And I felt that agents were not giving the crew the focus that they needed. And we do a lot of crew. We're probably moving between 30 and 40,000 crew a year through Dubai, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, and also through Saudi Arabia as well. Quite a lot of crew movements, crew changes going on there. And so we created Kanoo Crew Care to give a separate team in each of our offices who look after crew movements and look after the crew themselves, make sure they know where they're going, when a car is picking them up, etc., etc., etc. Coordinate their flights, coordinate their launches out to the ships or whatever, and try and make the time that they're passing through, transiting, as comfortable and as humane as possible.
Last but of course not the least, the shadow of Kanoo is slowly spreading, it's covering the world.
The footprint, Syria, not shadow. Footprint is better.
Lebanon, Syria, India, Pakistan, it goes on. What next?
I'm not giving away any commercial secrets, but we're always looking. We're always looking at opportunities, and we have an excellent name and opportunities to use that name for people that we know, in places that we know. We will always try and expand. But yes, watch this space. We will expand. Expansion is the key. If you don't grow, I said it earlier, if you don't grow, you tend to die, or businesses tend to die. And so we grow functionally, as I said to you just now. We're growing our marine fleet as well. We're more boats ourselves. Very much an opportunity there. So yeah, plenty in the pipeline. Thank you very much. It was indeed a pleasure speaking to you with such an experienced and learned man in the industry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And looking forward to associate with your organization in the future. Yeah, sure. I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.